I'm Dave Devereaux-Weber, and I work at the University of Wisconsin-Madison at the Division of Information Technology. And I've been at the division, I've been at the university since 1993 when I started here. I have a job that I really love here because I get to do so many things. I work in the areas of cable television and television over the internet, but I also know a lot about where the wires are in the steam tunnels and in the signal ducts. The fascinating part of my work back even in the 70s was my first exposure to the steam tunnels here. In order to provide cable television service to the dorms like Ogg Hall and Whitty and Celery, we had to put coaxial cable into the steam tunnels. To me, it's like going through the catacombs or something. It really has this really old sense. The steam tunnels themselves are tunnels with giant pipes inside of them, about 20 inches or 22 inches in diameter, that carry high pressure, high temperature steam. It's quite uncomfortably warm. My guess is it's about 120 to 130 degrees most of the time. I remember one summer when it got to be like 105 degrees in Madison, and so inside the steam tunnel it was about 145. And so I remember climbing up the ladder and coming out into the 105 degree air and having it feel so wonderfully cool to me. It's very, very dark. There's very little light that infiltrates. So at the manhole entrances themselves, you see some thin beams of sunlight that get around the edge of the cover. There are electric lights built in, but if those are off, it's extraordinarily dark. The steam tunnels are like a history lesson. So when the old Union South was torn down right next door to here, I was part of a crew of 3 that went into the Union South at the time that the demolition was occurring. So they were taking big chunks out of the building with these sort of dinosaur machines that would actually bite into the wall and rip a chunk of the wall out, while I was in the basement standing in ankle-deep water. There were still about 6 or 8 wires, and so we had to identify whether they weren't powered, and then when we made sure that they didn't have power on them, then we could cut them. It was a very interesting job to hear crashes and booms from the far end of the building while I was in the other end of the building removing wires. There's 3 different places where you generate steam here on the campus. There's the plant on Charter Street, and then there's 2 plants on Walnut Street. If we were to put a separate furnace or boiler in each building, then each building would have its own chimney and its own boiler to maintain, and the efficiency of each one of those boilers wouldn't be very high. So creating a centralized boiler system, you can share that boiler among the hundreds of buildings here on campus. So it was pretty cool.